heard through the government contracting through a colleague, and she was explaining it to me, Keisha Brown, and I felt like this was a good opportunity for me to add this to the portfolio of businesses that I have.
Okay. All right. And what's your background? What do you do?
Background, I'm in finance, private equity.
Okay. Welcome. Is it Miss or Mr. Hairston? Hello, Hairston? Can't hear you. Kiara. Kiara? Hello.
She's muted.
Yeah.
Can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself, Kiara? All right. Maybe she's being challenged.
I'll go next.
Huh?
I'll go next, Ms. Paula.
Okay, please do.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marianne Cadeau. I am the CEO, owner of AM Management and Communication Solution. I found out about GPI in one of my conferences that I went, National Association of Real Estate Brokers. I am a real estate agent by trade, and I am in Tampa, Florida.
All right, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Some issues here.
All right, Mr. Harrison, I think we can hear you now.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was having some issues. I'm still having some video issues. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. It's a new laptop. My name is Beret Harrison. I'm an educator here in Atlanta Public Schools. And I have a government background with government contracting. I worked 5 years over in the Middle East as a contract specialist. Also, I did a lot of compliance work over there and an auditor. So I'm getting back in, and I have a friend. She's a branding agent here in Atlanta. I just moved here from Texas. So I know all about the government contracting side, especially with the military contracts and knowing how to read them, the PWSs and all those things. It's very, I hope people understand what they're getting into. So I found you on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw you with, I think it was the executive of Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
So I said, let me see what's going on here. So I'm getting back in, and I got all of it. I started in the contracting side, doing some construction contracts with a friend back in 2017, 18, 19, and 20. And he went through a divorce, and we lost everything. We know how to protect our assets. So we're learning some lessons.
Okay, and so are you trying to get back into this game with your background?
Yeah, you know what? She's pushing me toward it. So I'm doing some consulting for her. I'm doing the legwork, because she's a branding agent here. She wants to do the logistics. And I have a lot of information, but I just want to learn.
With your background, brother, you should be able to take over.
Oh, wow.
There's no reason. I'm going to educate everybody.
Thank you, man.
Thank
It's
you.
nice to meet you.
You too. Mary Jo, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mary Jo. I did the cohorts, last year?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And you're back for me? What's going on with you?
Still putting in government contracts, trying to win one. And I'm a real estate broker as well.
Okay. Did you go on the bidding on steroids?
Looking into doing that right now.
Okay, that's the next level.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Zoom user, please introduce yourself.
That must be me. My name is Nolanda Hatcher. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm an architect here. And Paula, I met you making a presentation for the Huntsville Black Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
About 2022.
There we go. Now she come back. There is somebody that signed in as a Zoom user. I don't think you signed in with your real name, Miss Hatcher.
Oh, all right. Let me try to do something. about that.
Oh, all right. And Mr. Anthony, did I get you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I went already.
Okay. Well, let's get into get the party started for Saturday morning. Welcome everyone, and thank you for taking the time out to join us today. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into this presentation. We have a lot to cover, and let me get the party started. Hold on. I'm not at my regular computer. Hold on. So please bear with me from forgetting. All right, here we go. We are government procurement innovators, a solution to federal contracting. Okay, come on, computer. I'm still celebrating Juneteenth, our day of freedom. And for anyone getting into business and even getting into this space, it's important for me that you understand what's your why. Why are you trying to take this to another level? And the reason my why consists of my father, who was one of the first Black police officers in my hometown of Asheville, North Carolina, who had to end up suing the police department on discrimination. He ended up winning and retired and became a city councilman in 1992. And while he was a city councilman, he saw some land by the projects, and he felt like the kids there needed a park. So he was able to get funding, and now we have a park in his name. So he is the shoulders that I stand on, and which all of us should be standing on as it relates to our ancestors and what they've done for us to get to this point, this place. On. All right, computer. All right. 2024, I keep saying now is our time. It's not now, more than ever, just because of what's going on in this election year and understanding what this current president has been doing for the last, since he's been in office, and what he's trying to do in increasing the amount of awards that are going to small disadvantaged businesses. The goal is to increase the award amount to 15% by 2025. And right now you can see where they are as it relates to increasing the awards to Black and Brown households. I always like to start out with my background and how I ended up here. My name is, again, Paula Watts. Originally, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. After college, I went to Washington, D.C., and my first contract was with a company that was a part of the 8A program. By a show of hands, can you all tell me if you all heard of the 8A program? Yes. I'm going to go into more details about that as we go along. My first job was with a company that was a part of the 8A program. And doing event planning. And I ended up attaching myself to one contract and went through 6 companies on that one contract for 9 years before I decided to cut out the middleman and start my own business. The first year in business, I won my first $1 million contract. Second year in business, I applied into the 8A program and won my second $3 million contract. And I continued to grow the business very quickly. And where I had almost 15 million in contract and almost 40 employees. And I really didn't have a clue what I was doing. The government was awarding me millions of dollars of contracts, and I couldn't even read a profit and loss statement. I also had two business partners, one who I just called crazy, who felt like he could run all his personal expenses through the business. The last straw for me was a $3,000 pinstripe suit, custom made with his initial going down his pinstripe. With his initials going down the pinstripe. I was like, you have lost your mind. So I had my assistant to do an audit on his credit card, which is where he was running his expenses through. He takes her in the elevator and threatens her. I then end up terminating him. He then conspired with two employees to sue me and the other partner for sexual harassment. After 2 years of attorney fees, $125,000 in attorney fees, $100,000 to buy him out, I had no more operating cash, and I ended up closing the business in 2005. And that really pushed me to my new passion, because I realized no one was training our community on how to run businesses on this level. So I volunteered for 2 years as a SCORE counselor, ran out of money, and applied for a position at SBA. I was hired in the Philadelphia district office, which is the office that processed all of the 8A applications. So I was able to get a good insight from those individuals on what they were looking for and how they were processing those applications. But my job was to service the businesses once they got into the program. After 4 years in Philadelphia, I relocated here to Atlanta in 2012 to get closer to my mother. And this office was different. But while I was at this office, they required that we become certified as contract specialists. And for me, that was the missing piece, meaning I'd run a business for almost 10 years. I understood SBA's operations, but I wasn't quite sure how the agencies came together to actually put the solicitations together for you to actually compete on these contracts. I've trained, and that was full circle for me. I've trained more than 10,000 businesses on how to market to the federal government. Assisted small businesses to win over 1.5 billion in contracts across various industries. Recently, 2 years ago, self-published a book called That's Crazy, Recognize Crazy, and Run. The names have been changed to protect the innocent, but it was my journey through that first business. Because my goal is that you don't have to go through the things that I went through without knowing. So what are the challenges? The challenges for small businesses is, and what I saw particularly when I was at SBA, is that they would come to our workshop and everybody would leave, and it was great information, but no one was quite sure on how to connect the dots. And what typically happens at SBA when people are trying to enter into this space, they'll tell you, we have wonderful resource partners, and go see them. So half the time people spend 6 months going to all of their resource partners and really not sure how to connect the dots. And it's the same thing with the government agencies. No one really understand SBA's rules and regulations. And I will consistently say, unless you're on the inside of SBA, no one understands their operations. So what are the barriers? Understanding the government language. The government, oftentimes when you're at their events, they're assuming you're understanding what they're talking about as it relates to their acronyms. Also understanding and studying SBA's resource partners and what we did on the inside. Everything was information-based. No one is telling you the process. And the other component is no one at SBA run a business, and none of their resource partners have run a business. So to me, that's where the missing gap came in control. Understanding what certifications are you qualified for? Once you understand them, well, what supporting documentations do I need to apply? And understanding each of these agencies operate in a silo. No one talks to each other. So that's where a lot of the confusion comes into play for small businesses. So based on that, I created this program based on my lessons learned and what I saw on the inside working with SBA and studying those businesses. The first lesson I learned was do not limit your business. Mhm. Do not limit your business. What SBA's resource partners and everyone else will tell you is stay in your lane, stay in your skill set, start at the state and local level because you're not prepared to work on federal contracts. I totally just disagree with that. Once and I say that based on my second year in business, in that first business. I was marketing my business to the agency as an event planning company. And my mentor pulled me aside and he said, why are you pigeonholing yourself? And when he said that, it made sense. It made sense based on what I'd seen in those other businesses that I'd gone through that was successful. So I changed my business model. I created divisions. I had an event planning division, I had an IT division, I had a communications division, I had a database division. And once I created those divisions, I started winning contracts. Because once I won that first $1 million contract, I was no longer doing events. So it made sense to me. So in our first module, the first thing that we teach you is how to create a sustainable business model, not based on your skill set. Hear me now. I do not have to know anything about that contract to win. That is not my role as the CEO. My role as the CEO is to find the skill sets and the subject matter experts to perform on that contract. And that's how I'll make my money as the CEO. Can I get an amen from the church? Because I'm getting ready to go and preaching with y'all. Huh?
Amen.
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 Man.
So
Amen.
it's understanding how to manage a company. Second thing is understanding collaboration is key. All of SBA's programs and all of these contracts require that you collaborate. So in our second module, we put you into teams. And at that point, we are the government. Because it's as real and practical as possible. You have to learn how to handle if your subcontractor ghosts you or you disappear. Understanding collectively, working together, we're more in power. When I look at the number of people that's currently online, that's a contract. You get a piece, I get a piece, everybody get a piece, and eventually we all will have whole pies. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
Yes.
Number 3, you must have the infrastructure in place. What do I mean by infrastructure, someone? Anybody?
Have your business set up the right
core.
way.
I didn't hear.
Accounting,
The accounting?
accounting,
Core,
your
your
legal
basic structure foundation.
What does that mean?
meaning having all your tools and resources available to market yourself.
Yeah, your
Okay.
company set up correctly, LLC, incorporation, have your tax ID.
Yeah, your business practices and compliance.
Now, y'all just heard me say, I got you, right? Your attorneys, your accountants.
Yep.
Make sure that if you have employees, that you have employment practice liability
Your
insurance.
insurance. Yep.
Had I had that insurance, that would have covered my lawsuit, the settlement, the attorney fees, and their partner buyout.
Yep.
So understand how to protect yourself. Actually, next Friday, I will be doing a free webinar with the insurance gurus. They're going to go into details of the types of insurance that you need as a small business. No one told me. I thought I was covered with that general business liability insurance, but I was not under the umbrella. It was not. So make sure you register for that class as well. And when you look at the government operates on a fiscal year. The fiscal year begins October 1st to September 30th. And so for you as a small business owner, there's a peak time and a downtime to market to the government. The peak time to market to the government is from October to February. Because what happens is before that budget is passed, these agencies are operating on what they call a continuing resolution, meaning they have a limited budget. And so when I was on the inside, we really wasn't doing that much activity. And for me and you as a small business, that's the best time to start reaching out and building those relationships with those government buyers. Because right now, the budget was passed, the full budget was passed in March. The agencies probably started getting the full funding by April. So from May until the end of September, it's a whole lot of money that's getting ready to be spent. And they're not trying to talk to you. So me, I'm all about strategy. You have to have a strategic approach when you're trying to get into this space. Why federal contracts? Because every year SBA sets goals and provides a scorecard on how these agencies are faring as it relates to their programs. 23% of contracts are set aside just for small businesses. 5% if you're woman-owned, 5% if you're SDB or 8A, 5% for veteran-owned, they just increased that, and 3% for HUBZone. So what that means for you, the more certifications you have, the more you helping that agency achieve their goals. As an example, if you're a small business and that agency awarded you a contract for $100,000, that agency now gets $100,000 credit towards their goal. So if you're a small business and a woman-owned, now that agency gets $200,000 credit towards their goal. So the more certifications you have, you're helping those agencies achieve their goals. And over here on the right-hand side, you can see the amount of dollars that are going in to each of the programs, and that was set aside just for small businesses. And it's a whole lot of money. And if you look at the SDB, which again is the 8A, and we'll go into more depth about that, you can see the goals that the achievement that they achieved in 2023, a whole lot of money. And what I realized when I left the DC area and I went to Pennsylvania and I came here to Atlanta, I realized nobody outside of the DC area really had a clue about government contracts, just based on the number of businesses that are registered in SBA's program. So when you look at South Carolina, you look at North Carolina, and you look at the number of businesses certified in the 8A program, I refuse to believe that there's only 46 Black-owned businesses in the entire state of South Carolina. And same thing with North Carolina. Something is wrong to me. When you look at, again, Virginia and Maryland, between Virginia and Maryland, there's almost 1,600 businesses in the 8A program. So what I was finding was businesses from DC in that DMV area was coming here to win contracts. There's no competition. Sorry, y'all. I'm going the wrong way. Hold on. There's no competition. I don't know what I'm doing here with I don't have my mouse here, so y'all forgive me. There's no competition. So for me, I'm trying to get back to the original one. For me, that's the strategy that you use. Understand no competition. So I tell the businesses in here in Atlanta, Georgia, go to that where it's not less competition. Go to Alabama, go to North Carolina. And everywhere there's a military base, there's a federal contract. Everywhere there's everywhere there's a federal courthouse, there's a contract. And for me, I started studying this as it relates to our community and what was really occurring with these dollars. And I started nationally to see the amount of awards that was awarded nationally to small businesses, what was awarded to small businesses in the state of Georgia. And then I drilled down to our community. Is this telling anybody a story? What do you all see? Anybody?
96% total 8A awards.
No, ma'am. It's showing that 83 billion awards went to small businesses nationally.
Oh,
okay. Right?
Yep. Yes, I see it. Yes.
And you see what percentage of awards we're getting.
Wow.
Wow.
We need to fill it more. We need more of us in that space.
It's telling a story.
Yeah.
It's telling a story. The data does not lie. We're not playing in this because we don't have a clue. And then I broke it down so you can see my story, what I was saying. That 1 billion that went into Georgia, and what states were coming here to win contracts. No competition, y'all. It tells a story.
Question?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. My question is, I like to know, because this was my confusion back in the day. I'd like to know what's the amount of money that's allocated to Georgia for the federal contract side, and which percentage for minority-owned businesses?
That's what I just showed you.
That's what it was? Okay. I want to make sure.
I didn't want to talk about, I didn't want to do nationally. I couldn't get the data. So I just focused on total small businesses. And then the total small businesses that were awarded contracts in Georgia, regardless of their ethnicity. And then I drilled down to Black-owned businesses.
Yeah, my question was, I see the numbers, but my question was that the amount that was just awarded out, or was there any leftover? Like they didn't even.
This is right here. This is where we're still in FY24.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, man. Wow. It's a lot of money. Wow. No, I was just saying how much money is out there nobody knows about that didn't even go after.
Where no one knows it's available. They look at the government as big. So I'm most proud of one of our mentees or students. She started with me when I was at SBA, LaBrisha Dawson. She won a $1 billion contract last year from USDA managing all of their asset and foreclosed properties. And as you can see, she has been listed thus far as one of the top 10 Black-owned businesses in this, at prime contractors in this space. My goal is to get a whole lot more because there's a whole lot of money out there with the government.
You know, I think that it's not just only about you know, I mean, it's a lot of it is about educating our people, you know, because you know a lot of us they don't know, so a lot of it about educating, and then the ones who do know, it's somewhat intimidating, so I think they don't want to step out. So you know you have to kind of educate them on what they can do. So I think that's that's a big part of it also.
And that's
I
why
agree.
we created GPI.
Yes, yes, yes.
I will say that's been my issue I've run into lately. I'm a broker here in North Carolina, and I serve on the commercial committee for North Carolina Realtors. And even though you're acquisitive, a lot of people they're I'm seeing they're afraid. Maybe more so they don't want you in the space because they want to hog all the information for themselves, or it's just weird. And when I speak to others who have come across the same thing, they're saying it's kind of like more so the hush good old boys club.
Well, I think again, the challenge, I go back to saying SBA being a key factor. And nobody understands SBA's programs. And no one is playing on both sides. If you're a business in this, you don't understand SBA's rules, and people at SBA and their resource partners never run a business. So that's where the disconnect comes into play. So when you look at this website, this is the website that where you look at opportunities. The closer you get to the end of the fiscal year, these numbers are going to increase. And so what I will tell you is that on this level, you're not competing with as many people. What they'll tell you is start state, locally, in your counties, and you're competing with a whole lot more people. Well, in this space, you don't have to compete with as many people. And I'm going to show you some examples. This right here, this was an opportunity that came out. They need banners placed. Do I need to know anything about high school banners, anybody?
No, ma'am.
What would I do? Somebody.
Get you a subprime.
Someone
Yeah,
who can do it.
Yeah, we're gonna find
someone who knows about banners.
You're gonna find you a subcontractor up in Massachusetts, Buds Bay, Massachusetts, and you're gonna hire them and manage the project. Here was something simple, right? All they need is an aerobics instructor. What do I need to do, someone?
Find an aerobics instructor with the time that they allotted or they're asking for.
Where would you start?
Where the project's located.
Yes.
Who
Exactly.
would you target? How would you find that aerobics instructor?
Every fitness center.
Fitness club, fitness
There
clubs,
you go.
health clubs.
This is in Louisiana.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
So is your mind shifting? Yeah. Are y'all beginning to see me, hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
It's it. Mhm.
So you look at sam.gov, that's active. Those are contracts that are actively being posted every day. But this, every agency will also have what they call a forecast. That's where they're going to forecast what they plan on spending in that fiscal year. I like HUD because HUD updates their forecast every month. And people, especially, and I've trained a lot of realtors, think that HUD is the agency that they target just based on their background. Yes and no. Anybody can target HUD. When you look at the opportunities here, and let me increase this just a little. This forecast is going to outline what type of opportunities they plan on spending this fiscal year, what industry code, how they're going to compete it. And again, this is without even any certifications. When they anticipate the release date and the award date. So this is how you get in front of the contract before it hits sam.gov. For example, you see something, this is a new contract. I like new contracts because I know I'm not competing with anyone else. When you see recompete, that means there's someone currently has that contract. So here they're looking for employment plaques, retirement plaques. What can I do right now to prepare myself for this opportunity, someone?
Research.
What would you do? What would be your first step?
Google.
Make contact with someone who supplies trophies.
Before then.
Reach out to the contracting agent.
Yes, you're going to reach out to Miss Lawrence Wilson and ask her how many plaques are you anticipating you will need for this opportunity. So now I'm able to get my numbers beforehand. So when it comes out, I'm not reacting. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. So how do we play in this? How do we play in this space? You can self-certify first in SAM, Systems for Awards Management. This is still a relatively new database. And when it was launched, I think it was back in 2012, we called it such a mess, and it's still such a mess. That's your first test in government contracting, is trying to navigate that database with all its bugs. And so you can self-certify as a small business. You can self-certify as a small disadvantaged business. However, a lot of agencies do not use the SDB certification because once you're in the 8A program, you're automatically classified as a SDB. There are 4 programs that require formal certifications, meaning you have to apply to SBA and be approved by SBA. The first is the 8A Business Development Program, and it truly is a business development program. The HUBZone program is designed to build communities, and the woman-owned and the service-disabled is just what it is. For the 8A program, which is a program to my heart, because this is a program that I know is the pathway to creating the generational wealth. You're in it for 9 years. In this program, it allows you to go to any federal agency and they can award contracts up to $4.5 million with no competition. That's called a sole source. Did the church hear that?
Amen.
Yes.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Miss Paula, why is it so hard to get this certification though?
It is not if you know somebody on the inside and know what they're looking for.
Okay. So how do you connect with that person?
That's why we're here, Paula. That's why we're here.
Thank you. We're here.
Okay.
But I don't push you to that program because what I saw consistently working and servicing for, I have 40 business in my portfolio. Once you're applied into that program, you get a person like me. Out of the 40, only 5 or 6 was really winning contracts. And then they wasn't winning it until their 4th or 5th year. I had businesses in it their entire 9 years without winning any contracts. You only have one time to be in this program. So my goal is that you're walking in the door with guns. You having contracts waiting on it. You're playing on the outside. And so how this game is going to work for generational wealth, I'm going to use another one of my mentees. She followed the blueprint perfectly. I told her she's doing about 75 million in contracts now on the government side. She launched that to go to Amazon. Got a contract in Charlotte doing the Amazon. And now she's leveraging all of that income to do development in her country in Guyana. But when she got in the 8A program, she had a son in the military. He left the military 3 years ago at 26. He's a service disabled vet. I said, get him started now. Start subcontracting to him now. 3 years later, she's getting ready to graduate from the program. She's trained him up how to do procurement, how to manage a business under her umbrella. So now he's ready to get 8A. So now that's another 9 years of 8A contracts. And so his sister got jealous. She just graduated from college. And she was like, I want to do what y'all doing. So now she's coming through the program. And this little 23-year-old, if she's getting it now, oh my God, she's on fire. She's telling her mother, Mommy, if the old people would do the homework, they would get this. And she's right. So now we got generational. Are y'all hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes,
This is
definitely.
our solution.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that are in the real estate industry, hear me now. You cannot use the real estate agent broker's code. Everyone needs to use the 541-611 industry code. That's the management consulting code. They do not allow brokers or agents in this space. And if you all could remove that real estate title and substitute it with project management, it's the same thing. Who are my contract specialists that's on the line? Am I telling them the truth?
I'm just sitting here smiling.
It's pulling a team together. You all, in order to sell that house, you got to pull all these players together to make sure that deal goes through on a hope and a prayer.
Yeah.
And you're at the bottom. You're the last man to get paid, and people think you all make a lot of money off of those commissions, but we know the real deal because everything has to come out of it. Whereas in this space, everything's going to be paid for. You're going to get benefits. You can set up your retirement. You're going to get your salary covered, and you're going to get a profit in the end. I don't think the church heard me on that one. So can I get another amen?
Amen. Hallelujah.
I have a question though.
Yes.
I had contracted, we had a family business, maintenance business. We contracted with the state for all the DDSs in the state of Georgia, right? Well, particularly in the Atlanta area. We didn't have to go through no approval process to even bid on those particular contracts, like the SBD or the DEB program. We didn't have to do any of that. So what was the reason why we didn't have to do that to win those contracts?
Because the federal is different, and this is a business development, and where they sole source, where there are no competition contracts.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay. The hub zone is based on where your business is located. Also, let me go back to the 8A. What I found consistently is everybody tends to have multiple entities. That becomes my heartache because the 8A program is based on your net worth. And I'll go into that after this PowerPoint. But let me talk about the HUBZone. HUBZone is based on where your business is located. As long as 35% of your employees live in a HUBZone and your business is located in a HUBZone, you can qualify in that program. For the 8A program, the social component it previously was based on your ethnicity. Based on the lawsuit last year, now they require that you write a narrative describing how you've been discriminated here in America. But we can get past that. We have people on our team. I have SBA retirees that are doing the training, and we know the lingo and language that they're looking for. For the 8A program, in order to qualify, your net worth cannot exceed $850,000. Minus any equity in your home and any equity in your business. So if you have rental properties, the equity in those homes, in those properties will be counted against you. If you're married, they're just going to split it in half. They're not going to take the whole component. If you have multiple entities, SBA is going to look at all of those entities and combine them together, for one, to see how you're affiliated and whether or not you're still a small business based on all these entities. And part of the approval process for the 8A program requires that you're full-time under that entity. So if you have multiple entities going on and you have revenue coming in multiple entities, you're not going to qualify. Because SBA's viewpoint for this program is, if we're going to give you 9 years of access to non-competitive contracts, it is a business development program. We need to make sure that you're going to be dedicating your time to the entity that we are allowing into this program. Any questions? No questions? Okay.
So I have a question. So this makes sense not to, if you plan to obviously mushroom beyond 850,000, you should not go after this particular certification because you're limiting yourself.
If your net worth exceeds that amount.
Okay.
But again, there's always family members or people, you can own up to 10% in this program and never be under SBA's radar.
Ah, okay.
I'm teaching our game this morning.
Yes.
Amen. From the inside out. That's what y'all getting.
Okay.
Okay. There's always ways around it. My goal is to get this money back into our community. And this is the game changer. My mentor up in DC, he got in this program in 26 years and sold his business for $27 million. This is how we're going to create generational wealth.
Wow.
Wow.
The HUBZone program applies to purchases over 3,000. There's no term limits associated with that program. So you recertify every year. But you see here, you also get the same benefit of sole source and competitive contracts. But in this program, the women's program and the veterans program, in order for the agencies to do a direct award or a sole source, they have to be assured that there are at least 2 companies that are qualified to perform on that contract. That's called the rule of 2. So I tell businesses in our program, if you all are in there, both of you submit it. Force the agency to do a sole source. And that's for all the other programs. They also offer what they call a 10% price evaluation preference, meaning someone outside of the program, the government's gonna tack on 10% of their costs, making their costs more than yours. Again, your principal office must be in a HUBZone and 35% of your employees must live in a HUBZone. So my question to you, if I'm a home-based business and my home is located in a HUBZone, would I qualify into the HUBZone program? Someone?
Yes, you do.
Why?
Because you meet the criteria. If your company yourself is there first, number one, and then if you hire your employees that are in the surrounding areas.
No, ma'am, I'm the only employee, so I make up that 35% in that home-based business.
Just you yourself.
Just me, myself.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good to know.
I'm an employee of the company. This is the map. If you put your address in, it's going to let you know whether or not you're located in a HUBZone. Now, people think of HUBZone maybe as the hood, but not necessarily. When I look at the HUBZone and what Magic Johnson did, it's the same concept. Magic Johnson went into urban areas, built built movie theaters and Starbucks and hired from within. So when I was working at the SBA office in Atlanta, this is the address. And that office is downtown near Ritz-Carlton, Marriott's, all the high-end hotel, but it's in the HUBZone. Anybody that's from the Atlanta area, why do you think they make this a HUBZone? Why is that a HUBZone area?
Yeah, the project's right up the street.
Huh?
The project's right up the street.
I said it was a homeless shelter. I didn't know if there was a project, but it's a homeless shelter right around the corner.
Damn, right up the street.
So it's been strategic. I'm a strategist to my heart. The women's program is broken down into two components: economically disadvantaged and WOSB. Economically disadvantaged component is mirroring the 8A program. And the other problem, well, right now they're changing it. They're not accepting any women's applications right now because what they're doing is merging all of these databases into one, which is a good thing, but the timing is always wrong with the government because we're at the end of the fiscal year. For this program, they're taking a year to approve the applications. You can do this yourself. You can go onto that website and upload your information, or you can go through a third-party certifier, and there's a cost associated with it. I tend not to like to use them because, to me, it makes sense. All the documents you're providing them, they're just going to upload it in that database. I want you to understand what you're uploading, and you have total control and understand everything that you're giving the government. The women's program, again, is still relatively new. As you can see that it actually became effective October 15th, 2020. These are the terms and conditions of the requirements of this program. Must work full-time during normal working hours. There's ways to get around that based on the industry, no minimum amount of time. When this actually became law in 2012, that they were setting aside and making this a program, it was all the husbands calling up at the office
Yeah.
trying to see how they can get their wives in positions. Hear me now. Yes, we can play both sides, but you can't lie to the government. I had a 8A firm that was assigned to me because the people in Philadelphia, they can't see who's who. They not can't do site visit. Once you were in the program, I had to go out and visit you. And I knew this man was running the company. His wife had no inkling in it. So after I did the site visit, took pictures, documented, you can't lie to government. You're gonna go to jail. That's not worth it. These are the things that the government is looking for.
That's why.
All of these entities, you have to somebody has to be 51% owned. You can't go into these programs with 50-50. Somebody has to be the decision maker. You must hold the highest position in the company. Do I have any veterans online? Whatever certifications I don't have, I'm going to find someone with it. There's too many of us that have served in our country, in this country. And what I tell my veterans is whatever military base that you served on, you're going to go back to that military base because there's a government contract. We, as government contractors, I'm switching my hat to the other side. I love hiring veterans on my team because that adds credibility, that adds stability, and the government and military, they're used to structure. They're the best employees. So understanding how you're going to build out your team. This program has just been transferred over to SBA. It used to come under VA, but they've just transferred all of those employees under SBA, and it's taken 2 weeks for them to get qualified into the veterans program. Again, if you go to that checklist, that QR code, there's a checklist that shows you the qualifications and the documents that you need. Once you do one, to me, all of them is about the same. This is where a lot of confusions come in. All these E's. Me personally, I don't necessarily like the E's because one, you competing with a lot more people. For the DBEs, you're generally going to be a subcontractor. They're not allowing you to be your own boss. For the corporate E's, you don't know how much money they have and who you're chasing. So for the corporate certifications, that consists of the MBEs, WBEs, VBEs. You can see the list of all of the federals, which we just covered. The state is DBEs, and whatever state you're in, that's going to run through the Department of Transportation. But if you have Philadelphia, Pennsylvania SEPTA will do their DBEs. Here, MARTA does it. And then you have locals, counties and cities that will have their own certification program. So for me, I want to go, if I'm going to be in this game, I want to go with the least resistance. So what I tell a lot of people, start at the top, at the federal, and then come down, because in the end, that's still my tax dollars. But at least on the federal, I've gotten past performance. Now I can come down and compete with a lot of these local and state contracts. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Ma'am.
And you can see there's a cost associated with each one of these and what is free. I'm going to take you all to some websites now. And I know we are going over just a little, but please bear with me. If you have to leave, I understand. But I'm a visual person. so that you can see what I am talking about. This is one of my 8A firms. He's very successful. When you look at his business model, these are the areas that he's offering the government. And this is how we teach you all to build out your business model. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Everybody's doing the same thing. The government buys everything. That's why you don't have to pigeonhole yourself. I'm going to find people with the skill sets to do the job. I'm going to keep saying that over and over. So here, the government is buying physicians, doctors. All he's doing is farming out doctors to the VA. Right?
So these
Making
are
a
the
lot of money.
divisions that you're speaking of.
Huh?
These are the divisions that you mentioned that should be
Yes, ma'am.
embedded into your company.
Yes, ma'am. That's what we'll teach you in that first module.
Okay.
Create divisions. So the business is not based on you and your skill set. All right? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
This is Labrisha. She still stayed in some of her area because she got that $1 billion contract. But if you'll see here, what is her name? Here.
Dawson's Management Consultant.
Okay. Her legal name is Dawson's Realty and Mortgage Company. So she's doing a DBA. Her contracts are made to Dawson's Realty and Management, Realty and Mortgage Company. So we help you create that DBA so that you're not pigeonholing yourself by your business name. So these are the areas that she's saying that I offer you government, right? This is the website I like. I don't like sam.gov. Sam.gov is a mess. This is a private entity, but it ties into sam.gov and it's easier to navigate. It breaks it down by year and then by month. And so every day I like to say, I'm going online and shop to see what the government is buying. What is the government buying today? And so as we get closer, you're going to see these numbers increase because we're on the weekend, it's not showing as much. But you're going to, let me go to one that may have a little bit more meat on it. When you, hold on, 18. Let's go back just a little further. You can see the amount of solicitations that are out on this day. And what you see is broken down by the way the government procures its services. We go into source assault notices in our training and how you respond to that, because that's getting you in front of those contracts. And then it breaks it down by solicitation and it's telling you how many opportunities in that specific industry is posted daily. So I like to go in here every day and see what is the government buying, and you can navigate it by industry and who I know. And we try to target you to go after the low-hanging fruit. The government have what they call simplified acquisitions. Those are buys that are specifically for small businesses that are 250,000 and below. And those are, they're not, they're looking at numbers. It's not as intense as a big solicitation. So you can go out and see, okay, what is the government buying today? And leadership, Gettysburg leadership, right? Football coach, come on. Are y'all seeing me? Are you hearing me? Why do I have to pigeonhole myself? Professional development for aborting in South Carolina. Are y'all feeling me?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you feeling, or what are you seeing and hearing?
Abundance of
Multiple.
opportunity.
Multiple opportunities.
So why pigeonhole myself, right? Huh?
Yeah.
We've
out.
we've been conditioned to go to school, go to college, and get your degree and work. That's all those degrees are training you to go work for someone. I figured that out at 25. No, that's not gonna work for me. So this is one young lady that took the class back in 2019. And her very first contract was here. This one, the second one, providing meeting space for the government. The government needed a 3-day meeting space, right? In Albuquerque. She's here in Georgia. When you look here, and you can see this is the I say run and done. It started July, ended September. She found a hotel. The hotel's cost was $43,000. Her cost, she put in at $104,000. Right?
Wow.
Just to find a meeting space. Right?
One and done.
Wait a minute, you said she net $104,000 just for finding meeting space?
She didn't net it. The hotel's cost was $48,000. She net what was that? 60,000 or 54,000?
Yeah, she
Oh,
grossed
I see.
104. She grossed 104.
Her gross is 104.
Her gross was 104.
She
Okay.
netted what the profit was.
And what do y'all see down here? On the competition details. What do y'all see?
One person.
One offer received.
One
No
bidder.
proves my point. And right now
Wow.
it's a numbers game. This one right here, she was, and you see where she is. She's here in Georgia, and you see this was dry cleaning, and the place of performance was in Hawaii. All she was doing was playing, picking up laundry off of the Navy ships. See, place of performance is Hawaii. She had a little bit more competition on here, but not that much. So this is what I'm saying, and getting out of your comfort zone and out of your skill set and understanding how to manage a business. So when I look here, I want to show you this, and we'll wind up shortly, is this was a contract that I came in second. I passed the technical. You can see the amount. That was a $29 million contract, because people, again, trying to see, how do I really make money? In here, this was for grant reviews. Government was hiring us to process their applications. All of these were contingency hires. The government does not expect you to have people sitting around waiting on them and in these contracts. So as long as you find the expertise, now you're putting their position and their cost in your bid. So here it's showing how much the labor is. Over here is the fringe benefits. The government understands that it costs me to hire people. So we're giving them benefits, and the government's going to reimburse me. The government also has an overhead. They're going to reimburse me for portions of my overhead costs. That's where my salary came out. That's where the partner's salary came out. Part of my rent came out of that. The government is covering costs. And then the other direct costs, that's money passed through, money in, money out. I had a subcontractor. That's called your other direct costs. And then there's another pool where the government is going to pay me general administrative expenses called G&A. And in that, part of my salary came out of that pool as well. Because I had to travel so many, I had to hire a bookkeeper. Her salary came out of there. And then when it was all said and done, this would have been my profit on that contract had I won for that first year. The total profit would have been $1.2 million off of one contract. Y'all hear me?
Man, life change.
So,
Amen.
Wow.
so what I've done is created templates in my business. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And what I've done, I studied SBA's operations for 7 years, so I modernized SBA. So when I left SBA, God said, you're going to create an SBA on the outside. And that's what I've done because no one was connecting the dots. My whole goal is I have 2,500 people in this database. So, and probably close to 2,000 that's come through the program over the 9 years. So this is how we began to collaborate. If I'm here in Georgia and I see a contract in California, then I can reach out to businesses in California to start collaborating. Because after everyone finished their profile, finished the program, they input their information in this database. So now we're collectively working together. Does that make sense to everybody? Can I get amen from the church? We can
Amen.
no longer
That's amazing.
afford to. We can no longer afford to compete against each other. Right now, we're fighting for us to come together, just as those before us did, to make it better for the future. And that's what I'm about. It's not even about you guys. I'm just using you guys for the future. And again, if I could offer this for free, and this is what I'm working on, I'm doing the same thing that you're doing. I'm going back to the corporations and the government. Give me a contract so I can train my community for free. But until then, there is a cost associated with it because I do have trainers that we are using. This is the program. We have to have a minimum of 15 to start. We currently have 7 that has registered. So I've pushed it off to try to get more people in it. This class will start on Tuesday.
Wow.
And the price is $24.97. If you bring in a second person, that second person is $1,000. I'm still trying to get you all to split the cost and make it as cost effective as possible. It's broken into 6 weeks. Each module, you'll have homework and lab assignments that you're going to have to complete, but it's all applicable towards your business. By the time you finish the business ready, you should be registered in SAM properly. And a lot of people ask me, well, I've already registered in SAM. I've already got my LLC. I've already did this. And I still make everyone start at the same place because you have to understand what SBA is going to be looking for in your documentation when you apply into the program. And what you, if you register in SAM, what you are today is not going to be what you look like tomorrow because we're getting ready to expand your business model so that you look like everybody else. The government ready is all around teaming. We put you into teams and you have to learn how to work together. At that stage, we are the government. And we have a whole host of deliverables that you have to complete within those 6 weeks. The third module, contract ready, again, I'm about strategy. It's you understanding how to leverage SBA's All Small Mentor Protege program. Because to me, that would be ideal. You find you're a mentor, get approved in that program, then applying to the 8A. Because under the All Small Mentor Protege program, it allows a large mentor to come in and mentor you, and you get to use all their resources and relationships to put your business on steroids. And so people say, well, why, if I'm just a one-person shop, why would someone want to mentor me? They can't play in the space that you can. But I teach you how to create a strategy. You want to make sure whoever you're dating that you understand you're going to get what you want from that relationship, but you need to know what you want to receive. And that's part of the templates and things that we provide. Again, it's not 18th. It's going to start on Tuesday. The classes are held weekly with a live instructor from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We also have office hours where all the cohorts come together. We currently have 5 cohorts going on right now. We meet Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm the one that's generally the office hours. And then for those who are challenged with their homework assignments, that's the lab sessions. You have your capability statements. All of these are templates. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm providing you with the blueprint for my first business. This cohort is going to be led by George Thurman. This lady held a senior level position at SBA. She was over all the agencies and making sure that they carve out enough contracts for SBA's program. I'm excited about having these SBA people on there because they're the only ones that understand how to beat the game. Hold on. I also offer self-paced. Those are pre-recorded, same information. You also have access to the office hours and the lab sessions. Everything is available for a year. So you can, even when you complete the live and live class, you still have recordings because every week we're recording. Even if you miss a week, you get the recordings up to a year. And these are the deliverables. And you can see this is what you're going to be expected to complete. And that first module, it's all perception. Nobody should know that it's just you behind that umbrella. And we're going to fake it till we make it. These are the team deliverables. We'll go over I give you a sample RFP that I've written. And this is the book. Anybody have any questions? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. This is Bray.
Yes.
Yeah, Ms. Watts, for a person like myself that has a background with the contracting side of the house, would the self-paced be good or just do this part here? Because I've been out of it for a little while. So should I start from the beginning? Because I'm gonna have a business plan.
Yeah, you should start from the beginning.
Gotcha. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are brokers, is there certain things, certain licenses that needs to be set in place beforehand to make sure that you can pursue this?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Everybody starts at the same place. Okay. We walking it all at the same place.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are there any payment plans?
If you go, great question. If you go through my website, when you register, there's a link with PayPal that has the pay now, buy now, pay later with a 6-month no interest component to it.
Okay.
Okay.
And this class starts on Tuesday?
Tuesday at 8 p.m. We have to get we have to get at least 10 people in there for it to be cost effective for my trainers.
Okay.
And that's 8 p.m. Eastern time, right?
That is correct. And even if you missed it, it's recorded.
If you don't get the 10 people, will you be extending it?
I
Extending
will,
it?
but
Okay.
I'm prayerful and hopeful
Right.
that y'all people will come. It's a pretty effective program. We don't guarantee. I will never guarantee, because you have to do the work. This is no foolery here, but it's real for those who put the work in. All right. Can I get some takeaways? If
Hey,
we have
Miss
no more
Paula,
questions.
can I add something real quick?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I want to introduce myself. I'm Elisha, owner of ISOFI LLC. I created my business last year, and I went through your program. We met at a physical therapy office, and it was very great going through this program, I want to say, and it was very like informative. So basically right now for me, um, I got started in like real estate, development. So I've been trying to get through the USDA, also like try to contact, HHS, FEMA, in the food service industries. That's who I kind of been trying to reach out to, and also the DOD. So what I'm working on right now is like trying to build houses. Um, I have one house lot that's in a hub zone, so I want to make that like my primary business zone so I can be a set aside.
Let
Um,
let me interrupt you, Elijah, and I'm
mhm.
so glad that you joined us, Elijah. How you just graduated?
um, I graduated in 2021,
Okay, from
but
college. So
yeah,
what I tell all the people in this real estate space, you gotta have money. If you're gonna be a developer, you gotta have money. So for me, I still say focus over here on this contract side, and you get money from the contracts. Now you're in a position to do the development instead of trying to find funding, find it. That's a lot of stress of trying to get all of that money before you even make money. And to me, I'd rather make money and then use my own money to do my own investments. That's what makes sense to me. And those agencies, those are grants. Some of the things that you're talking about, assistance and funding, that's on the grant side. And there's ways, I know that side as well, but I still always go back to the contract side. All right. Can I get, yes.
I have a question, Miss Paula. Okay,
Yes.
I just, and maybe it just act like I'm on a little yellow bus right now, but my question is, so does it make sense to go after a lot of the low hanging fruit opportunities that are quick one and dones and build your wealth in that regard? But in order to do that, your NACE codes must be reflected in your business entity in that space in order to go after it.
Yes, and you can update it in your SAM profile
Okay.
anytime. But the game plan and the strategy is, first I want you to win some contracts yourself as a small business, so you get comfortable with what systems you need to develop internally for your business. My ultimate goal is to get you tied to these 8A companies that are graduating from the program that can't keep those contracts. Now they can flip those contracts to you. And ultimately, you finding your mentor. And I'll give you an example. I had a business I helped get approved in the mentor protege program. He just got into the 8A. Soon as he got approved, we created a joint venture His very first contract was $53 million under that joint venture. His mentor had a contract that she couldn't keep.
Mm,
Wow. Wow.
That's the game and strategy.
okay.
Okay. So can I get 3 takeaways? I know we've gone over, but hopefully you all have been filled this morning.
Absolutely. This has been a wealth of information. It's inspiring and encouraging. And I'm excited, actually, personally, myself. I'm
Okay.
more excited. Yes.
All right. Can
Thank you so much. I just wanted to tell you my takeaway from this is I've seen the contracts, I've seen what it looks like, I've seen them on the military side of the house. I don't think people realize the type of money that's out there. It's unbelievable. I've even watched the foreign nationals get money. Guys from Ukraine coming over here getting logistics contracts. They would come over here get a green card. They would bring in their brothers, their cousins. They would get all these military contracts. They get on the road with their trucks, and they were making millions of dollars just with a CDL business. I mean, it's unreal. Our biggest issue is basically capital, being consistent and willing to learn. This is a school. I don't think we understand what we have in front of us. Ms. Watts, you are a gift to the community. I don't think people understand. I started researching you and start looking up some things. We need to get on your coattail, and hopefully you have some people under you, some predecessors that's going to come in and continue your mission, because you are you're a jewel right now. I don't think people understand what's in front of us right here. I hope they do. Yes, ma'am.
Got this warm.
I second that. I second that.
I third that.
This has been phenomenal.
Because it's more of my heart. It's more of the future. It's more of us changing the game. And right now we losing. I don't like to lose.
Find the money, people. Find the money. This is peanuts compared to what she's about to bless you with. And that's it. Thank you, Ms. Watts.
Well, thank you for the advertisement, Mr. Harrison.
I've actually seen it. It was sickening watching millions of dollars going to Afghanis and Iraqis and all these foreign nationals. And then for the women, I'm going to tell you what the white men are doing in Texas with all the construction contracts. I'm not trying to take over your call here. But you need to understand what the white men are doing. They're marrying Mexican women. I'm gonna tell you the real. They're marrying Mexican women. The women are getting the contracts and they're working the jobs as secretaries, and they're 51% owners of the business, and they're making millions in the white. I'm not even using black or white. I'm just telling you what's going on. It's a hustle out here. So the white men are getting their wives to get these contracts, and they're especially constructions areas where there's not a lot of minority women. I'm telling you. It's something that's going on out here. It's unreal.
Thank you. Mariana, you had a question. You raised your hand.
Sorry, I wasn't gonna, it's not a question, it's more of a statement, just to kind of piggyback off what everyone is saying. I had an experience, me and Mary Joy were in the same city, and after we completed our cohort class, we started linking up with some of the local agencies around here, and the Department of Transportation in Tampa have a lot of infrastructure going, like billions of dollars of infrastructure. But one thing that we noticed, right? I know for myself, what I noticed is that when I walked in the room, it was maybe 3 of us. 3 of us. And I said, and I told Mary Joy, she can vouch for me, I said, this is why we're losing. Because the money is out there, we're just not in the right places. And it wasn't just 3, it was just 3 Black women. So that tells a whole nother story. That makes sense? And
absolutely.
Billions of dollars of infrastructure going into Tampa bridges, anything, but we're not in the right places.
But y'all also have to understand, because I've studied the construction industry, that's still a good old boy network. They're not trying to let us in. We can't get bonding. We can't get access to capital. So to me, what I tell people in that space, especially the construction, create facility support. Create and use the same vendors to support the facilities. And those are long-term contracts. Whereas construction is run and done, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of money, but you're always chasing the next project. So if I get a service contract with janitorial services, and that's 5 years, that's steady income every month. And I'm on to the next one. Let's just think outside of the box. Mr. Harrison,
Yes, ma'am.
there's no reason that you can't be like my mentor and position yourself for that $27 million background with your background, sir. And I would be sorely disappointed if you don't take advantage of that. Because again, you on the inside out, but you need to understand the process from the business side to pull this together.
I'll definitely take that as my blessing today.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, everyone. If you all want a copy of this recording, we'll send it out shortly. And hopefully you'll be on this June cohort and getting in this game now rather than later. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Nice meeting you, Ms. Watts.
All right.
Nice
Thank
meeting you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Too.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tina.
You're welcome, Alfie.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, take care. Thank you, Miss Watts.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Swats, if you're still there, I left my number there. And
Yes,
you have,
sir.
so I hope we get opportunity to talk whenever you get free this week. I'm off for summer break. So
Okay. I'll definitely follow back up with you.
yes, ma'am, because I'm reaching out to my partner here. She's awesome. So I hope we can get a conference call.
Okay. If
Yes.
you need to, you can call me. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Miss Joyner.